Our last speaker on this session is Jackie Boardman, who is a CR and risk advisor with Ladbrokes. Jackie.
Okay. It's strange standing here as a kind of potential gambler in the midst of an environmental conference. So, the themes are a bit strange, I guess. But a lot of the processes that everyone goes through are very similar. So, Ladbrokes, I'm sure, show of hands, who knows Ladbrokes? Quite a number out there, I think, yes. We've been around for 100 years or just over. That may be surprising to you. So we're a long-established business. There was a Mr. Ladbrokes who actually founded the company in 1886. So we've a legacy there that we're kind of hanging on. What you may not know is that we actually bought a lot of hotels during our history. And we actually were a hotel operator for many, many years. And we ran Hilton International, who were talking in the earlier session. So my history is kind of 10 years with the business, and we were called Hilton Group then. So we've got a bit of a history in terms of reporting, because we tried to marry a gambling organisation with a hotel organisation, which, unless you've got an in-house casino, doesn't kind of match. So we had a kind of a spread portfolio of reporting that we had to deal with. We've since sold Hilton International back to the States, and Andrew was here earlier. I have no involvement anymore in terms of reporting on hotel business, but we then renamed the business back to Ladbrokes PLC, which it was initially. So that's where we came to. We now operate and have employees in 18 countries in the world, which you may or may not know. 16,000 employees, so we're not heavyweight in terms of numbers, but we are a major employer. Interesting fact is that in the UK, the British betting industry, we employ nearly 40% of the people in that industry. So we are a big brand, and that's probably why most of you actually have heard of us. In terms of our kind of operation, we're not really heavy environmental users. So the environmental theme is not key. And that's one of the things that I think is quite important. And one of the things I want to bring out in terms of reporting. So key things in terms of what we've been doing, we realise that one of the biggest issues we have is a social one. So it's not environment, it's not really our carbon emissions, although we do measure them, we do report on them. It's about our product and our product base, and that's about gambling. So one of the areas that we do major on in our thinking is what are we doing in terms of our key social issues. So that would kind of bring me on to the fact that there's no point in having a glossy report, there's no point in telling your story well if you've not got a good story behind that. And I think reporting starts with having a good strategy. Understanding your key issues within the business. For us, it might major on how do we protect people from our product? How do we look at young and the vulnerable, and how do we protect them from addiction? Those are the sorts of areas that we can't ignore. You would have laughed if we'd have put a sustainability report together that talked about environment, because that is one of our key areas. Our customers are key as a consequence of that. So our first, I suppose, building block was about getting the foundations right within the business. Until you've done that, I don't think your sustainability reporting has any firm basis, and it doesn't mean anything. So beyond there, I would say about moving on to linking then with the strategy of the business, being core to the business. And one of the themes as well in here is, for my statement, is the fact, again, sustainability reports will just get laughed out of court if they don't link with your core aims as a company. And that's where you really have to engage at the top level. We talk all the time about how sustainability, or in our case, responsible business practice, links in with the core risks that the business is facing. On our risk registers, I know that that's probably a jargon word for corporates, but on our risk registers we talk about CR issues as being key to the future of the business. This totally links in with what was said earlier in terms of the director's responsibilities. Those are the conversations that are happening throughout the business. Unless you get that tie-in, I think the reporting just becomes a shop window. It's not really real, in a sense, for where we're going. So again, I say, you know, don't think about reporting unless you've thought about your strategy and how that really links in with the company. Having said that, Magic 7, Galliford Try, we've got a Magic 7 pillars, and you can all take away a copy. Sorry, I'm just ruining the mics here, of the report, and it's all in there. You can have a look. But one thing I would say is that we've concentrated a lot on CR reports. This is only one small part of sustainability reporting, as far as I'm concerned, within a company. This is just for one group of people. It serves one particular purpose. I think we've failed in all of our journeys with CR reporting in trying to get a one-size-fits-all document. It doesn't work because it never really meets the needs of all the people that you want to reach. So as far as Ladbrokes is concerned, you'll see it's quite small, and that's for a reason, because that is for a particular group of people, for a particular audience. We have probably 10, 15, 20 different documents that exist across the business, and they're focused on different target audiences. So I think the future of sustainability reporting is possibly going to move away from a big tome that might keep your door open to making sure that you are targeting the right people, and that's what you've said, and with the right messages, and giving them what they need. And that kind of brings me on to this idea of involving as many people as you can in the reporting process. Now, that's not just in data collection and data management, which is a big obstacle. We all know that, and CA have talked about that. It's about actually understanding what they want to hear and getting that in the right format. So this, again, I hesitate to say that this is our CR report, but it is. But this is only one small part of that process. And I think multimedia is the way forward, again, in terms of how we do this. So reporting, I think, is going to go into the digital arena. Obviously, Virgin Media will really major on that. But we're not just talking about, you know, PowerPoint slides stuck on the internet. We're talking about films. We're talking about all kinds of accessible routes to get to people and to give people that information. And I think that's a frequent thing, which is what was talked about, not just about once a year and making it glossy, but it's a frequent activity. So what I've talked about is making things fit for purpose. That's where we're going. Making things concise. Don't say too much. Say what you have to say it in the right language for the right people, and give the audiences exactly what they want. Don't waste paper, obviously. I've wasted paper because I've brought some documents here today, but I will take them away. But amazingly, one thing that I've been surprised about is that by trying to do the process that way and focusing on the business needs, the business opportunities as well, and our own communication program, we've ended up winning 2 awards for our sustainability reporting, which is kind of shocking because we didn't solicit that and it just happened. And that's probably why we're here today. So thank you, and maybe take some home with you.